Welcome back to You Start Videos. Many people in psychology and business use the compass as a way to explain how we make choices, follow values, or plan our path. For example, the moral compass is a well-known idea for thinking about what is right and wrong. In this model, as explained by Foote in 67, Thompson in 85, and Green and others in 2001, North stands for your true purpose or your most important values. In business, ideas such as Simon C-Nic's Start with Why and Mel Robbins' Difficult Conversations framework also use compass-like models to help people make decisions and grow. These models usually focus on following fixed values or outside rules. The compass theory I am sharing today is different. It clearly matches acceptance, willpower, change, and results to the 4 points of the compass. Your own actions today are at the center. Unlike other compass models, this one is about checking yourself often, growing as a person, and seeing how your inside thoughts and outside actions work together. The center is you and what you do now. If you see yourself in this idea, or if you know someone who could use this, you might want to share this video with them so they can also think about their own journey. Some people might say that using a compass as a guide for personal growth is too simple, or that not everyone fits into 4 groups. But the strength of this model is that it is flexible and can be changed to fit your own life. You can keep checking and changing it as your life changes. If you want to think about these ideas again in the future, you can save this video to watch later or download it for easy access. This model encourages you to check yourself often, think honestly about your actions, and keep trying new things. It shows that real progress depends on both your motivation and your actions. By following this approach, you can handle life's challenges with more understanding and make choices that help you move forward. The model's flexibility is not just an idea, it is made for real use, so you can look at it again and change your direction as and when you need to. If you are ready to take action and want to talk about how to use the compass theory for your own goals, you can book a time with You Start. The center of the compass is not still. It is your real life, where you must act, think, and change as things happen. By clearly linking acceptance, willpower, change, and results, the 4 compass points, and putting your actions at the center. This compass theory gives you both a way to think and a practical tool for personal and professional growth. Its strength is in its ability to personalize and support ongoing and meaningful change, not just a single solution for everyone. To move forward in life or work, you must change something. If you do not change anything, your results will stay the same. The compass theory helps you see your journey as a path you plan, not a straight road. Most people do not go straight to their goal. Instead, they have to think, plan, and sometimes change their direction, going east or west, but always aiming for their north. Each point on the compass means something important. South is acceptance, the way you are now. West is change. East is willpower. The north is the result you want. And the center is you and your actions today. We always start with the first step, which is acceptance. This way of thinking shows that life and work are not simple or straight. Change is not something you do just once. It is something you come back to again and again. The compass shows that you will move between the different points many times. You will need to make choices at each point, and sometimes you will need to look back and change your plan. You might find that sometimes you need to focus on change or use your willpower before you can keep going towards your result. The center is always about your real life now. It is about what you do, how you think, and the choices you make today. The need for change is not just about doing something different once. It is about checking yourself, seeing where you are stuck, and deciding what needs to change to get better results. The compass theory gives you a way to see where you are, what you want, and what you need to do to reach your goal. Change is not only about things outside you, like your job or your situation. It is also about inside changes, like your thoughts, habits, and reasons for doing things. The compass theory is made to help you come back to it again and again, so you can keep growing and not just make one big change. Sometimes you will need to change your plan. Sometimes things will not go as you hope, or you will find new chances. This is normal, and the compass helps you keep going even when you need to adjust your path. In our mentoring sessions, we often meet people who feel stuck. One person said, I have been in the same job for 3 years, doing more and more, but nothing changes. We walked through the story, we talked about what they wanted, what could be changed, and what was holding them back. By looking at the compass points together, they saw that change was possible, even if it was just a small step at first. Later they said, I didn't realize I could ask for a new role. I thought I had to wait. This is how change starts. It is not always with a big move, but with a new idea or a small action. Each time you feel stuck or unsure, you can ask yourself, where I am now, what do I want, what do I need to change, how much do I want it, what am I doing today? This simple check can help you see your path more clearly. True change needs you to see clearly and take action. The compass theory gives you a simple way to understand where you are and what you need to do next. It is a tool you can use as many times you want to move forward, or if you feel stuck. We must become aware of where we are, what we want, what we are willing to do, and where we are prepared to go. Acceptance does not mean staying where you are. It means acknowledging your current existence and having the strength to plan for tomorrow. For example, imagine you are in a job where your salary has not increased for 3 years. Your employer has only ensured you receive the minimum wage, but you feel you have progressed, learned, and dedicated yourself both during and outside working hours. Despite this, your employer has only cared about keeping the business running, relying on you to keep learning and taking on more tasks. After 3 years, you still have no clear development path or defined responsibilities. The initial job description was fulfilled within the first quarter, yet you keep accumulating tasks and achievements beyond what was expected, with only verbal thanks and no promotions or pay rise. Acceptance does not mean staying another year without action. It means realizing this situation does not help you in the long run and that you need to take measures. You could discuss with your employer to understand why your pay or promotion has not changed and rightly request explanations and a plan for your professional and financial development. Might as well reduce your involvement to just meeting your job description and requirements and use your energy for a parallel activity that brings satisfaction and growth, or as a last resort, seek for a new job. In short, acceptance means finding your first coin to start building, just like in the anecdote where you cannot put coin on coin unless you have that very first coin. It is about recognizing your starting point so you can begin making real progress. Acceptance is not a sign of weakness or giving up. It is a sign of honesty and courage. It's about looking at your life as it really is, not as you wish it would be. Many people try to avoid this step because it can be uncomfortable to admit that things are not working as they want something different. However, without acceptance, it is almost impossible to make real lasting change. In New Start mentoring sessions, acceptance is always the first topic. When someone joins the program, they are encouraged to talk openly about their current situation. This might include their job, studies, their family, or their feelings about the future. Often people start by saying they do not have any special skills or achievements. We do not rush this stage. Instead, we ask gentle questions and listen carefully. Over time, small details come out, helping a neighbor, fixing something for a friend, supporting a family member. These are all signs of hidden strengths and abilities. By the end of the first session, we work together to write down a list of things the person has already done well, even if they didn't notice them before. This list is important because it shows that acceptance is not about giving up. It is about seeing the truth of what you already do and using it as a base to build on. We also use a practical activity called the confidence snapshot. At the start, each person is asked, how confident do you feel about your future? The answer might be not very, I'm just hoping things will work out. This is written down, not for judgment, but as a starting point. Later in the program, we look back at this, and often the person ends up saying, I didn't realize how much I could do until I tried. I feel more ready now. This shows that acceptance is a process, not a single moment. Acceptance also means recognizing what is outside of your control, what you can influence. Sometimes people feel stuck because they are waiting for someone else to change. In these cases, we talk about what actions are possible right now, even if they are small. Sometimes, the first step is simply to talk to someone about how you feel or write down your thoughts. In some cases, acceptance involves letting go of old hopes or ideas that no longer fit your life. For example, someone might have dreamed of a certain career, but now realizes it's not possible due to health or personal reasons. Acceptance helps them see new possibilities and set goals that match how they are now. Acceptance is the foundation for all progress. It allows you to see your real strengths and limits, to set honest goals, and take steps that truly help you move forward. Without acceptance, any change you try will be built on an unclear or shaky base. If you are not sure where to start, ask yourself these questions. What is my situation right now? What do I want to change? What am I willing to do to make that change? What is working well and what is not working? By taking time to accept your starting point, you give yourself the best chance to make real positive change in your life. After you accept where you are, the next step is to decide what you truly want. This is called defining your north. North is about your direction, your main goal, or your biggest objective. It is important to spend time thinking carefully about this step so your goal is possible and real, not just a dream. Everyone has hopes and wishes, but not all wishes can become real goals. For example, I once thought it would be amazing to become an airline pilot. Later, I developed a fear of heights, something I cannot change. I accepted that my personal situation meant I could not set my north as being a pilot. Instead, I looked at what I could do now and what I could learn to get better. I asked myself, what does it mean to be a pilot? The answer was to help passengers and be responsible for their journey. I realized what makes me feel fulfilled is helping people and seeing them succeed. So, I set my north as serving others and feeling the positive energy from their success. There are many jobs and careers that can bring this feeling, not just being a pilot. Yeah? So defining your north is about being honest with yourself. It is about turning a hope into a real direction. Your north should be something you can work towards, even if it seems difficult or new. Sometimes your north will change as you grow or as your life changes. For a long time, my north was not clear. Sometimes it even disappeared in the busy days of life. It was busy but not purposeful. All my jobs gave me something, but without a clear north, I liked discipline but missed on direction. I used to jump from one job to another not because they were wrong, but because I didn't have a steady goal to guide my choices. Without a north, even good opportunities lost their meaning. I felt restless and was always searching for something more without knowing what more should be. Looking back, I see that my north was never about a job title or a salary. It was about feeling that my work mattered and that I was making a difference for others and for myself. When I finally solved this thought, put everything down and asked myself what I truly wanted, I understood my north was about helping people, especially young people and adults, to feel stuck or ignored, to find their own direction and believe in themselves. Now, my north is clear. My goal is to deliver mentoring to as many young people as possible and to support adults over 25 to get jobs where they feel not just employed, but happy and part of something. I want them to look at their new roles and see a future, not just a paycheck. I want to look back and know I helped people move forward. I want to know that I played a part in their journey towards stability, confidence, and fulfillment. This north is not just about ambition, it is about making up for years I spent drifting and using my experience, both mistakes and progress, to guide others. Sometimes, when I think about this, I imagine seeing a young person I mentored walking to a job they once thought was impossible. That image keeps me going even when the work is hard or progress is slow. In New Start sessions, we help people find their north by asking, what do you want to achieve by the end of this year? Sometimes the answer is, I don't know, maybe a great job. Then we carry on. We ask, what would make you feel proud? After thinking, they might say, if I could tell my family I got a job, I would feel proud. We go further, we ask, what kind of job? What would your first day look like? The answers get clearer and clearer. I want to walk in, feel confident, and know I belong. The goal becomes real, not just a wish. Sometimes more changes as we talk. I thought I wanted to work in a warehouse, but now I am interested in working with people. The important thing is that north is not a fantasy. It is a direction that feels possible, tangible, even if it's new or scary. We can use guided activity called career vision. Everyone closes their eyes and imagine it is the last day of the year, and we start asking ourselves, what do you see? What do you hear? Who is with you? The details matter. I see myself shaking hands with the new manager. I hear my family saying, well done. I feel nervous, but also excited. This exercise helps turn a vague hope into a clear direction. The vision is written down and kept as a reminder of what is possible. Defining your north comes before thinking about willpower or change, but it is connected to them. Once you know your north, you can then ask yourself how much you want it and what are you willing to do to reach it. These questions lead you to the next compass point, east for willpower and west for change. You must first decide your north, even if it takes time and several tries to get it clear. Here are some questions to help you find your north. When you think about your north, is it clear or still coming into focus? What would it mean for you to reach your goal by the end of this year? Who in your life would notice the change if you truly followed your north? What would it feel like to look back and know you made a real difference? Your north is not just a direction, it is a promise to yourself. It is a commitment to do everything you can to build something lasting and to leave things better than you found them. This is what keeps you moving forward, step by step, one at a time. After you set your north, you need the energy to move towards it. This energy is called willpower. It helps you keep going even when things get hard or when you feel tired. It is the drive that pushes you to act, not just wish for change. Willpower is not only about big actions, it is also about small choices that we make every day. Imagine your week. If you don't change anything from Monday to Saturday, you will find that Sunday brings the same result as before. This idea is supported by writers such as Dewey and C-Nic, who say that progress comes only when you take action and choose to change. When you think about willpower, ask yourself, how much do you want this goal? Will I feel happy if I reach it? Do I have the discipline to do what is needed? For me, I want to avoid growing old and not being able to tell my children or grandchildren to follow their dreams. I would regret not having good memories and not living meaningful moments with the people I want to help. No matter how much I go off track or face problems, I must remember my goal. It will hurt if I do nothing. Willpower is not about being perfect. Sometimes I wake up tired and wonder if I have the strength to keep going. On those days, it is easy to fall back into old habits, doubt myself, or to want to give up. But I have learned that willpower is about getting up and trying again, even when it feels weak. It is about making small good choices like calling a mentee when I would rather rest, preparing for a session when I feel unprepared, or listening carefully even when my mind is busy with worries. In the past, I often confused impulsive actions with real willpower. I would make big decisions quickly, thinking that any action was better than waiting. But true willpower is quieter. It is found in the small, steady steps you take every day. Willpower also grows when you connect it to something meaningful. When I remind myself why I mentor others and why it matters, I find energy I did not know I had. It is not about forcing myself, but about matching my actions to my values. Sometimes I fail, I cancel a meeting, or I do not meet my own standards. In the past, this would make me feel guilty and stop trying. Now, I try to pause, think, and start again. I ask myself what I can do differently tomorrow. I forgive myself for not being perfect. One thing that helps is setting up routines that makes it easier to do the right thing. If I know I have trouble getting started in the morning, I prepare notes the night before. If my phone distracts me, I put it in another room. These small changes help me stay on track. Sometimes willpower means asking for help. I have learned to reach out to colleagues, share my struggles, and accept support when it is offered. There is a strength in admitting you cannot do everything alone. In our Youth Start sessions, we focus on building willpower through evidence-based self-reflection and structured support. Participants are encouraged to identify what keeps them motivated, discuss challenges openly, and share strategies for overcoming setbacks. Mentors recognize and reinforce small acts of perseverance, such as attending sessions despite difficulties or reaching out for support when struggling. These moments are highlighted as examples of real willpower in action. By consistently acknowledging effort and resilience, the program helps participants understand that progress is measured not just by outcomes, but by the willingness to keep trying even after setbacks. We also use motivation mapping. Each person writes down what keeps them going when things get tough. Answers might be my family, I want to prove I can do it, or I want to feel proud of myself. These reasons are kept close and read aloud when motivation drops. Willpower grows when your actions are linked to real reasons, not just wishes. Here are some questions to help you think about willpower. When was the last time you kept going even if you wanted to quit? What habits help you stay on track when you lose motivation? How do you recover when you do not meet your own expectations? Or who or what reminds you why your goal is worth the effort? From the outside, people might only see the results, such as successful placement, confident mentees, or a growing program. Underneath, there is a daily struggle with doubt, tiredness, and distraction. Willpower is what keeps you fighting that battle, even when no one is watching. At the end of the day, I measure my willpower not by how many times I succeed, but by how many times I try again. This makes the difference not just for me, but for everyone I hope to help. Now let us establish the West, the change. This is the cardinal point that varies the most, even more than East or North. Change is about what you do differently to move closer to your goal. It is the point of the compass where your choices and actions really show. What do you understand by change? Imagine being single, which is your south. You see someone you like and want a relationship, which is your north. You feel attracted and want it, which is your east. But you cannot have that relationship unless you change something. If you only watch and imagine, nothing happens. You must act, approach them, and develop something. That is change. This example shows that change is not just about wanting something, but about doing something to make it happen. When you think about that change, use the other points on the compass. Remember that we are all different at the center of the compass. We do not think the same way about the change, nor do we have the same background at acceptance or the same willpower at the S. What feels like a big change for one person might feel a small one for another. Your own story, experiences, and strengths are the base of every decision. This is the hardest part to get right and the easiest to get wrong, but it gives us the flexibility to try again until we succeed. Here is about choices. Sometimes you will know exactly what needs to change, other times you will have to try, learn, and adjust. For example, I am currently a freelance van driver. I accept this as myself. Do I like it? Yes, to some extent, because I serve my community and I see the joy on people's faces when they receive their orders. Is it enough? No, because I cannot interact meaningfully and I am always under time pressure. At the end of the day, there is some satisfaction, but I know it can be better. So, I update my willpower, my ease, and ask myself, where do I want to go? To the highest level of satisfaction, creating pleasant memories and feeling the energy of others' gratitude. Correct? What should I change? If I try to interact more with clients, it is not ethical or possible due to job constraints. So I must find another meaning. What else can I do that brings at least the same fulfillment, if not more? I have to set my criteria, not to settle for less, to have ambition, not because I have something to prove, but for myself. Now, I start to think about what I can do, study what suits me, and what would help me develop and reach my objective. This is how you make a list of possible changes, the time needed, the involvement required, and the result of each, and how each affects your path to your objective. This is the easy version, where things are clear and your personality does not affect your choices much. But there is also the hard version, where you must change something about yourself or your own behavior. When you have tried many options and failed, you realize that somewhere along the way you lied to yourself. The hardest battle is with yourself, to be 100% honest and look at how much of what you do each day is truly important for your goal. If you do unimportant things every day that stop you from following your purpose, you are lying to yourself. Recently, I listened to a podcast about the importance of focusing on what you need to accomplish. The speakers talked about noise and fears, ideas also discussed in the Mel Robbins Difficult Conversations framework. They explained that the greatest barrier to concentration is often the noise that surrounds us. Here, the noise means all the small unimportant things that distract us and waste our time and energy. We can look at each noise and ask if it is more important than what we want. Then, there are fears. As mentioned in the podcast, fear of change, fear of leaving your comfort zone, fear of the unknown. That is why you most motivate yourself, because no one knows you well enough to give perfect advice. External advice is often wrong because it does not reflect your unique situation. Fear is overcome by self-motivation, which comes from having your willpower well defined. You need to know what motivates you to overcome fears and to recognize the noise in your life. This means making balanced choices, following your path to achieve your objective, and persevering even when things are difficult. No matter how many options you have to try, do not leave the compass point. Travel between them until you reach your destination. If you follow the compass, it will not betray you. Sooner or later, you will succeed. In Youth Start Mentoring, we talk about change as something you can practice. During a session, we might ask, what is something you could do differently this week? Maybe the answer is, I could set a reminder to leave earlier so I am not late. This week, there is a smile on the person and he says, I did it, I was on time. This small change builds confidence to try something bigger. In mock interviews, people often say, I am not good at talking to strangers. After practicing, the answer changes to, I felt nervous, but I remembered to look up and smile. It was better than I thought. The change is not just in the answer, but in how people perceive themselves. We also use an activity called change mapping. Each person writes down one thing they want to change, then tells the story about what might happen if they do so. If I change this, I will feel proud of myself, scared, but I am more scared of staying the same. This is usual. We talk about obstacles, doubts, and first steps. Sometimes the change is small, like practicing interview answers or saying no to distractions. Sometimes it is bigger, like applying for a job or leaving an old habit behind. Every attempt is progress, even if it doesn't work the first time. Change is not about things outside you, like your job or your situation. It is also about changing your thoughts, habits, and reason for doing things. The compass theory helps you come back to this point again and again, so you can keep growing and not just make one big change. Sometimes you need to change your plan. Sometimes things do not go as you hope, or you find better and new opportunities. That is normal, and the compass helps you keep going, even when you need to adjust your path. True change means being honest with yourself and taking action. It is about making choices facing fears, and not giving up when things are hard. Every time you try, you learn something new and you get closer to your goal. The last aspect is the center of the compass where you are with your personality and thoughts. Here, based on all the cardinal points, you make decisions every day, from the most trivial, automatic ones to those affecting others around you. This is your present. In my present, I have discovered that there are many things I must change quickly to achieve what I want in life and to become the alternative to the pilot. To enjoy the energy created by the satisfaction I bring to others. This acknowledgement doesn't come easy. The center is often a place of mixed feelings where hope and regret, excitement and frustration all meet. Sometimes I feel proud of the progress I have made, but other times I feel the weight of missed opportunities and the urge to act faster, to change more, to finally become the person I want to be. In the past, I have changed many jobs. I was a store manager in Cyprus for a year, ran an internet cafe in Rome for several years, worked in international recruitment for many years, worked as a warehouse trainer and team manager, and then in deliveries. The only connection between these jobs was interacting with people and charging myself with the energy from their satisfaction. But none of these jobs fully satisfied me. Each new role brought hope that things would be different, that I could finally shape my environment and see my values reflected in the workplace. Yet, each time I found myself feeling that something important was missing. Then I discovered why none of these jobs could fully satisfy me, even though I could have built a greater career in each and every one of them. I realized myself, my impulsivity. My ego is so strong that it overrides my consciousness and accelerates my decision making. I cannot change my personality, as that would mean I am no longer myself. So I realized I must address my impulsivity. This was not only about my own restlessness, it was also about my deep frustration when I could not bring my way of thinking and my values into the places I worked. I wanted to make workplaces value more people, to see them value the candidate or employee, to make each person feel present, wanted, and important. When I couldn't do this, or when my ideas were not listened to, I felt an urgent need to move on. Instead of fighting to change the system or staying to influence things over time, I acted quickly. I changed jobs, chasing the hope that somewhere else my values and vision would finally fit. I realized this while working as a trainer at a warehouse in the East Midlands Gateway. My direct manager, David, was an extraordinary man, a true mentor to whom I will always be grateful for what he taught and guided me while I was there. I think I told him directly, but someday he will see this video and know it is about him and that he will always be my model. The way he spoke, listened, paid attention to every detail and balanced his effort to satisfy everyone and create a positive aura made you want to be there with all your heart and never leave. He discovered my north and helped me understand my objective. After a few months there, I was already taking on tasks to make my colleagues' work easier, and he noticed this. He knew I had worked in recruitment before and saw that I liked working with people, so he chose to prepare me as a trainer to teach others the processes. In countless discussions about our surroundings and how we perceive them, he helped me understand what I am made of and find my north. More than that, he taught me how to relate to others and discover my inner emotions, my noises and fears. He taught me to seek help when I felt overwhelmed, and most importantly, to realize that nothing will ever satisfy me if I remain impulsive. He also prepared me to be a team manager step by step, teaching me what to do, how to behave, how to listen to speak, how to care for those around me and help them grow so I could grow with them and draw energy from them. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to change my impulsivity while working there, and when I left, it was also a moment of impulsivity. I left quickly without giving myself the power or the time to change. This decision brought sadness, regret, and sense of loss, as well as the hope that I could still use what I had learned in a new way. Then I chose to work in deliveries because my personal circumstances changed and required major flexibility in my schedule. I had much more time alone behind the wheel to step back, detach, and reflect on everything I had learned from life, myself, and others. At first, the silence felt empty, but then it became a space of thinking, for feeling, and for understanding myself in a deeper way. I imagined to write everything down and started forming my compass, setting my priorities and changes. I decided to study business management to build something sustainable for my goal and start working to become a career mentor for young people so they do not waste their lives as I did until 40s, going in circles around an objective without knowing how to reach it. But most importantly, without realizing that at the center of the compass was a person with willpower, strong character, but often uncontrolled impulsivity. Here I am now, making a video describing my compass theory for achieving a major objective in life. I do this especially for young people, but not only for them, and I change myself and feel with energy that comes from working with them. That is what we do at YouStart. When possible, if the opportunities arises and the stars align, we also help people find a job. We also help people like me who until a certain age went in circles but still find the strength and courage to break out. This is the flame that burns continuously and motivates me to discipline myself so that what I do matters. In YouStart mentoring, we encourage everyone to look at their own center. We use self-awareness journals and reflection exercises. At the end of each day, we ask people to write about the choice they made and how it felt. Over time, these stories show patterns like acting from hope or from habit or letting impulsivity take over. We talk openly about the struggle to balance our values, our feelings, and our actions. Sometimes, just sharing these stories brings relief and new understanding. After each session, we reflect together. We ask what went well, what was hard, what will you try next. Growth is measured by stories, not just numbers. When someone says, I answered a question without panicking, or I helped a friend with their CV, we see real progress. We celebrate every success, even the small ones. The center of the compass is always you. It is your feelings, your choices, your habits, and your story. By understanding yourself at the center, you can use all the other compass points better and move forward with more confidence, more patience, and more kindness to yourself. The center is not about being perfect, it is about being honest, feeling your feelings, and learning every day. You will have days of doubt, days of hope, days of real progress. Every day is a new chance to shape your journey. The compass is always there to help you, but you are always at the center, steering your own course with all your feelings, hopes, and lessons. As I wrap up and I bring this journey through the compass theory to a close, I want to pause and recognize the inspiration and insight drawn from many remarkable thinkers and practitioners. This journey is not something I have walked alone. It has been shaped by the wisdom, research, and lived experiences of people who have helped me see the world and myself with greater clarity. The ideas of Charles Duhigg, especially in The Power of Habit, have reinforced the importance of willpower and the discipline of change. His work reminds us that habits are powerful. They shape our daily lives and can either hold us back or help us move forward. Duhigg's lessons have given me practical tools to understand why I do what I do and how I change my habits to support my goals. Simon Sinek's work, particularly Start With Why, has shaped my understanding of purpose and the need of continually ask ourselves what truly drives us. Sinek's focus on the why behind our actions has inspired me to dig deeper, to look beyond the surface goals, and to find the real reasons that give my work meaning. This has helped me become more honest with myself and more effective in helping others discover their own purpose. Mel Robbins, through her books and frameworks, has illuminated the role of overcoming fear and the barriers created by the noise in our lives. Her 5-second rule and her advice for facing difficult conversations helped me understand that action often needs to come before confidence. Robbins shows that anyone can move past fear and hesitation by taking small, brave steps. This has been a lesson I have used in my own life and shared with many others. I am also grateful for the foundational perspectives on ethical decision making offered by Philippa Foot, Judith Jarvis Thompson, and Joshua Green and colleagues. Their exploration of the moral compass has influenced how I think about values and direction in life. They remind me that every choice has weight and that our direction is shaped by what we believe is right. Their work has helped me see that growth is not just about reaching goals, but about doing so in a way that is fair, honest, and caring for others. From the work of business psychology and communication, the contributions of Vanessa Van Edwards and Alex Hormozy have helped me appreciate the importance of self-awareness, body language, and the dynamics of growth and team building. Their research and advice have shown me that how we present ourselves, how we listen, and how we work with others can change everything. They have taught me that progress is not just about personal effort, but also about building trust, understanding, and real human connection. I want to acknowledge also the practical wisdom from Jordan Peterson framework for business and client success, which continues to inform my work with young people and adults alike. Peterson's guidance on responsibility, structure, and meaning has helped me see that everyone, no matter their starting point, can find a way forward through discipline and honest self-reflection. This theory is not a closed system. It is a living guide shaped by my own experiences and by the wisdom of others. Its strength lies in its flexibility, its capacity for personalization, and its innovation to each and every one of us to take responsibility for our own journey, wherever we may be starting from. The compass theory is not just a set of ideas, it is a call to action, a way to reflect on your life, and a tool to help you move forward with courage and clarity. If you are a young person seeking direction, or an adult looking to break out of a cycle, or a business leader wanting to support this cause, I invite you to engage with our services at your start. You do not have to walk this path alone. We are here to listen, support, and to help you build a plan that works for you. At You Start, we believe in the power of mentoring, honest conversation, and real partnership. We know that every journey is unique and that every person has the strength to change, to grow, and to find fulfillment. Together, we can chart a path towards fulfillment, resilience, and real progress. Let us help you find your direction and make your next step account.